another wonderful day in Berlin. Sunshine today, go figure, but really cold outside. So, yeah, I kind of am a bit at a point where, there's not much going on, and there is, yeah, just my talk here every day. I hope I don't bore people. I think the main thing is that I do it for myself, just to get stuff out. So happy that a few people listen, even though it's a few. But you're here, that's all that counts. So this week I'll talk a little bit more about photography, I think, since, there's a lot of stuff to talk about that as well. But I think it's all interconnected, people who do photography, they always want to hear about the latest camera, the latest gadgets to make their pictures better. But I think with everything in life, if you're more connected to yourself, everything else gets better. So it doesn't matter in what direction you want to go or how you want to improve. Even though ultimately, the whole thing of self-improvement is a funny thing anyway, because ultimately you just have to be yourself. And there's so much knowledge and so much power behind that, because then you feel that you're in contact with yourself and then things move forward. In my life, at least, a lot of the stuff that did hold me back was just, not being in touch with myself, doing things for others, not admitting that I don't want to do certain things, even though everybody said, wow, this is great to do. I should just have listened more to my inner voice, but at that point I didn't know how to connect to that. So anything you want to achieve in life gets easier when you're in tune with yourself, and you feel it when you're in connection with yourself, because the moment you connect to yourself, things go smoothly. At least in my experience, whenever I didn't have the connection, then it was a struggle and a battle and a war against circumstances. But the moment I felt like I'm connected, I'm synced in, I'm plugged in, it just moved, and it moved in a way almost effortlessly. I mean, you still have to show up, you still have to do what you have to do, but it's not that you have fight windmills, be really in battle mode. You just know that you're doing the right thing. And I think that's really important. It's kind of the zone that, when people describe it in different ways, that means you found your passion, you found what you really want to do, and you really connected to what you're doing. I mean, there are a few people that I met in my life also, when you just know that these people do exactly what they must do. And you can feel this. You say, wow, this guy's... And they might be really bad in other things, but they're really good in this one thing, and that's what they're doing, and they have so much passion about it. And you just feel that, wow, this is a person who does what he really must do or wants to do. So that's the idea behind it, to connect to yourself and then let things just flow, and that can help you with anything. I mean, whatever you want to do, if you have that connection, then, things move. So that's the idea behind this vlog, but I will, talk about other themes as well, mainly photography. And again, photography relates back to life as well, again, or to the work, to the spiritual work, to the inner work. So it's all interconnected at the end. So that might be interesting for some of you as well. But for the moment, to sum up what I was talking about in the last couple of days, is just to find the connection to yourself and to live that connection. And in the moment that you connected, you plugged in, things flow smoothly. And how do we find the connection? To me, the best way is to talk to your inner child, to say, hey, what do you want to do? I mean, what is your vision? Because the inner child doesn't have these issues that the adult has, because we went through so many experiences, so much hurt also, that this is all an overlay to who we really are. And I always compare it now, we go back to photography with Photoshop layers, you have all these different layers on top of an image. But they're only layers, so they never change the image. So the image is untainted, so to speak. And you do this because if you want to go 1-2 steps back, but what we're trying to do, or what the idea behind spiritual work is, like to take off the layers, peel the onion, And so again, connection between photography and the inner work, but that's the idea, to let go of the layers and find the original image again. Now in Photoshop, you just do these layers because mostly the original is not as good as what you get when you put all the layers on top. In life, obviously, it's a little different because you have the original that is beautiful and pure, and then you put all the layers on top and they degrade the image, then don't make it better. And so we try to get that out of the way to go back to who we truly are before we get brainwashed, so to speak. And that sums it up pretty much. I mean, it's very easy ultimately. I mean, it's easy and very hard at the same time, obviously, because I mean, the hard thing is just doing it, practicing it, finding the connection, living the connection, and then just see what happens. So I really believe that's very important, especially for the time that lies ahead of us. So if we too connected with our egos, it's going to be really rough, because I'm pretty sure that our egos will take another few hits before this is over, and things might not be as we envision them to be. So being connected to yourself, the external is not so important anymore. That's, I think, why it's so important to turn internal right now, because when you let go of the external and you have your internal, because ultimately the external never was able to make us happy, and this is forcing us to look at the internal and connect to the internal, and that's definitely better than bunkering food and stuff, because if the times get rough, it's really important to have a really good connection to ourselves. That's really bunkering food, because that's going to help us to get through this without having emotional and mental problems afterwards. So stick with me. Tomorrow I'll talk a little bit about megapixels and what is important when you think about buying a camera. So thank you so much. I see you guys tomorrow, and have a good night. Bye for now.